Has Fusion Strike absolutely halted all scalping? I know we've been able to find more product on the shelves than ever. Let's talk about it. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Gym Leaders Podcast, where we talk all things Pokemon TCG. I'm Travis with TCG Funhouse.
And I'm ASX TCG, ready to talk some restocks today.
That's right, guys. Kind of clickbaity title, kind of clickbaity thumbnail, but it's what you guys click on, so I got to do it that way. But bottom line is, we have been finding more and more product out at the shelves than we have in months and months and months, and I'm trying to figure out why. So that's kind of what we're going to talk through today. Part of me thinks it's just because Fusion Strike is not a very popular set. A part of me thinks people are burnt out on celebrations. A part of me thinks that, it's just extraordinarily product heavy for the holiday season. So we're going to talk about all those things today, but I know that everywhere right now, every time I go to Target and Walmart, I've at least been able to find some Pokemon cards. No, there's no ultra premium collections. Yes, it's really light on Elite Trainer boxes, but beggars can't be choosers. There is Pokemon cards out there. There is product out there. What has been your experience, man?
Yeah, I would have to say it's been awesome to be able to walk into a Walmart or a Target and actually see packs on the shelf. Like you said, it's not your ultra premium collections, or necessarily like, rows and rows of ETBs or anything like that.
Right.
But, a handful of ETBs here. You got your 3-packs, you got your single pack blisters up on the hangers there. That's what I'm seeing around, and it's so nice because, you think back to this time last year in 2020, and it was, at least in my area, it was an absolute ghost town.
Yeah.
For weeks, for weeks on end. So I'm feeling great. I'm feeling great about this.
I'm with you, but talking about rows and rows of Elite Trainer boxes, I follow a lot of Pokemon content creators on all different social medias, right? Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube. I'm all over the place, so make sure you guys go check out TCG Funhouse on all of those platforms. But the people that I follow have actually been posting rows and rows of ETBs and rows of Hoopa boxes and Dragonite boxes, and there's these new displays going up in these different types of stores, entire box displays that you would find on a Black Friday, full of celebrations boxes, full of Fusion Strike, just full of all these things, which we haven't seen that in a very, very long time. Even before, when you would talk about hitting a restock, it'd be like, hey, I hit a restock, guy dropped off 6 ETBs. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's just getting loaded right now. Yes, the UPCs, which everybody is clamoring for, the number one Pokemon Christmas gift, that Celebration UPC, has still been very, very hard to find. And I think that's going to be the most expensive modern product that you're going to be able to find, ever, right? It's going to go up crazy in price. If you can find one, make sure you grab it. But yeah, like ASX was saying, single pack blisters, single pack boosters, check lanes, 3-pack blisters, collection boxes all over the place. I know that I've been leaving so much on the shelf, right? So we've been conditioned to think we need to buy it all, right? It's been so desert. It's been so barren for 6 months now that when you walk into a store and you see a Pikachu V Union box or you see a Dragonite V box, you're like, I need to buy these, but you don't now, right, at this point. So have you been leaving stuff on the shelves? Have you been fighting that have to buy or what?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I am very much guilty of that for sure, especially coming out of last year when that's honestly how it felt when you walked in the store. It was like, if you didn't grab it, you saw it, you didn't grab it, you missed out.
You'd never see it again.
Exactly. So yeah, definitely leaving a lot more on the shelves. Just knowing that, I could probably come back next week and get some more. It's just a great feeling, and I've definitely been able to do that more recently.
That's fantastic, right? Because that really is the end game, is to try to get things back to where they are. Now, we're going to talk later in the podcast what we think Brilliant Star is going to do to everything, and if it's going to ruin it all, right? Because I could definitely see that as a possibility, but we're going to talk about that later. But talking about Fusion Strike in particular, not only have we been seeing stocks on the shelves, before I move forward, I want to preface this real quick. I know that every area is different. I know that some states and some cities are much harder to find cards at, but for the most part, most of the country has been finding more product on the shelves. I know places like Arizona and California are still very hard to find product. Even countries like Australia, I've had more than one comment recently tell me how hard it is to find product in Australia. Canada seems to be having more luck on restocks and stuff like that. A lot of the Canadian PokeTubers are getting more product than they ever have. So I know that it's different in every area. I'm not saying that scalping is still not a problem. It still is a problem, but it is starting to go away. But going back to what I was going to say before with Fusion Strike, not only are we finding product on the shelves, but even online, the prices are not bad. The prices are not bad. Online small LGSs or local game stores are selling ETBs for the most part for MSRP or at a markup of maybe $5, right? $45 for an ETB.
I've even seen some under MSRP online
for booster boxes. Yeah, booster boxes. MSRP booster boxes are $143, which has always been really high, right? I don't consider $143 actual retail price, even though that's what Pokemon says it should be. But Fusion Strike booster boxes, for the most part, are like $109 to $115 right now, which is very good compared to what different types of sets were going for at release 4 months ago.
Definitely.
Even over on TCGFunhouse.com, I have some Fusion Strike booster boxes and ETBs up there right now. My ETBs are MSRP. My booster boxes are $109. So make sure you guys go check that out if you need some. I am running low. I will say that. But this is by far the best prices that we have seen on sealed product this close to release, right? Do you agree?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, by far. I can't even really remember the last set that really felt like this, to be honest with you. So, yeah.
Yeah, so
that's nice.
Celebrations is an anomaly, like Celebrations is a subset, and not only is it a subset, but it's almost like a subset of a subset, right? Because it's an anniversary set. So it's not just like your typical Shining Fates or Champion's Path or Dragon Majesty. Like, this is 25th anniversary, boom,
Right.
So that was always going to play by different rules. And Evolving Skies was one of the best sets ever released.
Oh, yeah.
It's got so many chase cards, so many fan favorites. I knew that card was going to be, the probably still to this day, the best set in Sword and Shield.
I think so.
So, are you surprised that Evolving Skies booster boxes are still more expensive than Fusion Strike?
Oh, no, not by any means. It totally makes sense to me. Like you said, there's way more chase cards in it. There are so many ultra rares that you can pull in that set. There's like 3 or 4 pages in that book over there, with how many ultra rares there are. So yeah, no, it definitely doesn't surprise me that Evolving Skies is holding out, holding the price a little bit better than the newest set, Fusion Strike.
For sure. Fusion Strike still does have those 3 big hitters, right? It's got the Mew VMAX alternate art, which we did pull on Friday's box break, which was absolutely amazing. Big shout out to everybody that came out to the box break on Friday. It was so much fun. Not only were all the packs sold out and we got tons of bangers, we did in fact pull that Mew VMAX alternate art for my boy Eric G. Big shout out to you, Eric. Congratulations on that big pull. So much fun. But those cards are already starting to come down in price a little bit. The Mew VMAX is already down to like 130. The Espeon's down to like 125-ish. And then the Gengar's around to like 120 as well. So just last week when we were recording our podcast, they were still firmly in the $150, $160 range.
Yeah.
And we're actually going to talk about falling singles prices next week. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and that notification bell here on YouTube so you don't miss out on that conversation, because there's been a ton of singles that have just taken a nosedive in price that I don't think a lot of people know about. So we're going to be talking about that. But yes, one thing could be interrupting our gleefulness of finding Pokemon product And that's the upcoming set release of Brilliant Star. ASX, what do you think Brilliant Star is going to do to the Scalpers landscape?
Yeah, I think it's going to rip it wide open again. To be 100% honest with you, you throw the Charizard in the set, and that just seems to make those scalpers flock right to it, right? So, I was kind of thinking, before we filmed here, and a lot of the sets that had the full art Charizards in them, I feel like were some of the the most highly scalped sets.
Oh yeah.
That we had in Sword and Shield. And we haven't had a full art Charizard since Shining Fates. So I'm not really counting the Celebrations Charizard because that's had like 25 reprints pretty much.
Yep.
So the full art Charizards I think are kind of what is a big driver. Not all of it, but a very big driver in the scalping scene. So I think in Brilliant Star when that comes out. We haven't, seen anything else other than the Charizard V Star and the V Max Star. I think you're onto something with that alt art Charizard, and if they put that in there, or a gold Charizard like you've mentioned before, I think the floodgates have opened.
See, that's what you kind of brought that up, and I honestly didn't even think about gold, right? I'm like, oh, we're gonna get the alternate art because that's the way that Pokemon has been pushing everything, but they really have in fact been also giving us these shiny gold card variants, and we've had 2 shiny Charizards in Sword and Shield already, and neither of them have been gold, right? So we've had the Shining Fates and the Champion's Path, and neither of them have been the gold, which has basically been the way that all the shiny Pokemon have been. Now, that being said, this is my opinion. I think we're going to get the alternate art inside Brilliant Star. I think they have intentionally waited to announce it because they want people to get as much Fusion Strike as possible before they just really open up the floodgates on people getting excited for Brilliant Star. That being said, I do think we're eventually going to get a shiny Charizard Gold, but I think that's going to be the next subset. Usually around March, we get another subset, right, like Champion's Path. And I think that is going to be the seller for that subset is going to be the gold shiny Charizard card as like the big chase. So I think we're coming up to basically getting 2 sets in a row, or 2 out of the next 3 sets that are going to have a Charizard chase card in them as well, which they like to do to create the hype and to still keep Pokemon TCG in front of people's minds, right? So how hard do you think it's going to be able to find Brilliant Star if they announce that alternate art Charizard, right? Holiday season is done. Celebrations is over. If they give us that, do you think it's just going to completely demolish all this positive hope that we have for Scalpin being eliminated?
I want to hope not. I want to hope that the Pokemon company's gotten their stuff together when it comes to the printing and all the new printing facilities, and I hope that's going to help. But I do feel like this is going to be a set that's going to be tough to find on the store shelves. I would definitely recommend getting in trusted pre-orders for sure on that set, because I think it's going to be a tough one to find. I know I'm going to be chasing that Charizard. Hopefully the Charizard alt art for sure. Yeah.
And again, something that we like to talk about here on the podcast as well, and I used to talk about it in my previous podcast, is FOMO, right? So like if they do announce that alternate art Charizard, don't jump, skip, and just sprint to the nearest website that's going to charge you $200 for an ETB or whatever, right? Don't fall for the FOMO. Wait until we know exactly what kind of, what the product is going to look like. How much are we going to get? What are the printing going to be? Give yourself an opportunity to obtain it at MSRP before you break the bank, because you never know, man. You could walk into that Target and stumble upon ETBs upon ETBs upon 3-pack blisters of Brilliant Star at MSRP, and then beforehand you spent $300 on 2 ETBs and whatever, right? So don't let the FOMO fool you. Give it some time. Be patient. Even if they announce that Charizard alternate art don't go crazy, because that is when the scalpers feast, right? That is when the bad stuff happens. When we give them our money and we prove to them that we are going to overpay by 3 times MSRP for a product, they're never going to stop. The only way to stop the scalping altogether is to stop giving these people profits, right? That's the only way.
Exactly.
People who go to the store and buy MSRP product can't sell at MSRP, because then they're going to lose money via shipping and packaging and all that other stuff. So they're not going to buy the products if we stop buying a $40 ETB at $70. So as long as we can step away from that and we can control ourselves, this inflation, this third-party market inflation, these third-party resellers, right, retail arbitrage people will stop focusing on the Pokemon TCG, right? So, like, I mean, have you ever been a pay for over MSRP guy, ASX?
You know, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm a very honest person. I definitely have paid over MSRP for some products, but it's not something that I like to do often. I'm very careful when I do. I'm very picky when I do, and you know, making sure it makes sense. You know, on that product that I'm paying, you know, a little bit more for. You know, for definitely for sets like, you know, Fusion Strike and stuff like that. You know, you're not going to find me paying over MSRP. You know, on sets like that. You know, but if I found a Celebrations UPC or something like that for a decent price over MSRP, you know, that's something that would make sense to me, you know?
Yeah, I agree. And I think we've all been in that position, you know, to where you do want something so bad and you don't see an end to it. And that's why we're trying to bring awareness to the fact that there is more product out there than there has been in a very, very long time. No, it's not circa 2018. You have your pickings of all this stuff, right? Even guys like Real Breaking 8 have had to completely change the way he does, like his hidden Pokemon cards and all these other things. Like, he used to just dig through piles and piles of Pokemon and blah, blah, blah. And it was such a cool series. And then he literally had to pause it for a while because there was not only was there no hidden Pokemon cards, but there was no Pokemon cards at all. But even he has been able to at least alter it a little bit and open it back up, which if you guys haven't yet, go check out those videos. They're so cool. They're so entertaining. Big shout out to you. Nate, I love those videos, man. Keep it up. Keep it up. But yeah, so don't let the FOMO get you. Wait for Brilliant Star. Wait till you at least give your chance an opportunity. Give yourself a chance to find the product at that price. But yeah, so like, how are your local LGSs like handling it? So my local LGS is basically selling all of their Fusion Strike at MSRP, and they've not upped it at all. Now we have been getting reprints of things like Darkness Ablaze booster boxes. I even think like Burning Shadows may have gotten a reprint not that long ago. But I will say this. I work with distributors, right? I'm a fully licensed Pokemon TCG reseller. Those products are not coming to online sellers and local game stores at the same price they were at release. Okay? I personally have been offered stuff like Burning Shadows, some Unbroken Bonds, and sets like that, but the prices are extraordinarily inflated. They're basically almost scalping to the resellers, right? Which kind of sucks. So don't get too hard on your local game stores or on your online sellers when you find Burning Shadows booster boxes or Darkness Ablaze booster boxes, things like that, at a little bit more of expensive price, because they're not coming in at a lower price. So I know a lot of people don't know that at all. So
no, that's a good point to make, because, you know, before I knew you, that's not something that I knew. And it's definitely easy to get upset with, you know, your local LGS for, you know, what you think are inflated prices. But you said, like you said, if you don't really know what's going on behind the scenes, then, you know, you really don't, you know the full story. So, yeah.
But just to put the cherry on top of that, though, new pre-order products are never sold at an inflated price. So there's been this misconception where it's the bad people, right? There's bad resellers. There's bad legal resellers, just like there's bad scalpers. Like, it just depends on the type of person that you are. There's this weird like ideology out there that even resellers are not getting the product at the same price. That is not true. That is completely not true. For pre-orders and stuff like that. Some of the older stuff, yes, it's coming in more expensive. But pre-orders for Fusion Strike, Evolving Skies, Celebrations, Brilliant Star, we've all placed our Brilliant Star orders already. It is all the same prices that they have always been. So if you talk to your game store or if you talk to an online seller and they told you that their Brilliant Star costs them more than it normally does, they're lying to you. Do not listen to them and do not buy for them, because they are scandalous sellers that are just trying to increase profits and make more money on the back end. So, like, ASX, have you ever dealt with a legal reseller or local game store that has said those things to you? Because I know I've heard it from time to time.
Yeah, so there is one local game store that's actually in the mall by me, and they
watch out for those malls, man.
I know, man. Seriously, but they're in the mall, and I think that's what kind of makes their prices a little bit more expensive. They have a lot more traffic, a lot more money walking around there,
more overhead.
Yeah, and I remember, oh man, what set was it? It was Shining Fates, when Shining Fates came out.
Okay.
And it was a Pikachu V box, and I walked in there. It was the only one on the shelf, of course. I walk in there and I asked what. How much was it? Because I was very interested at the time. Shining Fates had just come out, couldn't find it anywhere. And I think he told me somewhere around like 45 to 55 or something like that. And I was like, wow. I was like, that's over double essentially of what this box actually costs. And then I kind of got, the whole spiel about, oh, well, the distributors and all this. And, we're, there's not, excuse me, not a whole lot in this area and things like that. So I definitely got the runaround on the price. I did not buy that box. I'm glad I did not, for sure. But yeah, I've come across that for sure in my area.
Yeah, it's definitely crazy. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, allocation numbers have been extraordinarily affected. People that used to get $10,000 worth of product, specifically for online sellers, might only be getting $2,000 worth of product or $1,000 worth of product even. So they feel like they need to boost up their prices to try to keep their profits higher, right? So not their profit percentages, because they're probably having the same profit percentages, but when you're used to profiting, a few grand or a couple of tens of thousands of dollars on every set release, and now all of a sudden you're only profiting a few $100s because your allocation is so lower, you feel like you need to do something to make up for that. So there's all kinds of stuff business-wise that happen in the background that a lot of people don't talk about, and that a lot of people really don't connect with. They just care about, I want my product at my price at this, blah, blah, blah. So just keep in mind, there's good sellers out there. There's bad sellers out there. I'm not going to tell you that your LGS is always right. I'm not going to tell you that every scalper is always wrong. I've talked to scalpers that go buy all the product, and specifically so they can sell it back to their friend or back to other people in the community at MSRP, right? They wipe the entire shelf so that way they can make sure that their Pokemon community, their close niche Pokemon community, also gets some product. I don't really consider that scalping. I consider that trying to make sure that their friends are dealt with as well. I call them good friends. Yeah. And then at the same token,
that's helping the community.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, at the same token, there are local game stores that don't do it right. Like, yes, they file taxes. Yes, they got an EIN. They opened up a store. They opened up a website. Did everything they were supposed to do. But now they're still being greedy, and they're still trying to get excessive amounts of profit percentages on each product, which isn't always right. So I'm not that person that says, go to your LGS, support your LGS. No, support the good ones. Don't support the ones that are hurting the community, right? So that's my opinion on that. So, but while we're at it here, ASX, like, what have your polls been for Fusion Strike, man?
Yeah, well, I gotta say, I still haven't opened up a whole lot of it, but I did open up an Elite Trainer box the other day, and it was better than expected, to be honest. I did have a good laugh. The very first V card I pulled out of the set was Gengar V, And then I thought that was the only V card I was going to pull. And then I opened up the Elite Trainer box, and that was the very first, ultra rare better pull I pulled out of that. So I was thinking the Gengar V was going to be the only thing that I ever pulled. But I did end up pulling the Mew V Max, not the one that you pulled.
Hey.
Just
Still
the
a cool
regular
card,
one.
though. Still a cool card.
Still a cool
Still
card.
like pushing $40 right now.
Yeah. So, it made me kind of give, Fusion Strike a second thought. Like, maybe this set isn't going to necessarily be as bad as I originally thought. But I could have just got really lucky with the one ETB that I bought and decided to open.
Right.
I'm liking it. I'm looking at the artworks a lot more too, and I really like a lot of the artworks in the set. So
very good artworks.
I'm happy with it. Very good. And I'm happy with it as a collector. I think it's a fun set, and I'm excited to keep opening up some more packs of it.
Awesome. Yeah. So we did. We've opened up a couple of booster boxes on our own, and we ended up getting for ourselves. This was actually off camera. It was just kind of a family night. We were just hanging out. We were like, let's just open up some freaking Pokemon cards, right? So we did it as a family.
Yeah.
And, you don't always have to record it. Like, even though you're a Pokemon content creator and you're a PokeTuber, if you're going to open it, record it, right? But sometimes it's cool to just open cards with your family,
Yeah, definitely.
And we ended up getting the Celebi V alternate art for ourselves, which was dope. And the Breakdancing Genesect V alternate art, which was really, really cool. And a couple of rainbow trainers and stuff like that. But during our box break, where we did 2 more booster boxes, which I haven't quite announced it yet, but we're going to be doing Evolving Skies as our next box break. During the live stream, I kind of pulled the viewers, and they all voted Evolving Skies. They did not want another Fusion Strike. They didn't want Chilling Rain. I've done 2 celebrations in a row, so they were ready for some Evolving Skies. So that'll be the next one coming. Awesome. Make sure you guys stay tuned at TCGFunhouse.com so you can buy into that break. Yeah, we ended up getting a couple of rainbows. We got a few full arts, and we did get that Mew VMAX alternate art. So we've had some pretty decent luck with Fusion Strike, because if you guys remember last week, we were talking about how bad the pull rates were for Fusion Strike, and that's kind of how I was with Chilling Rain. It took us over 220 packs to get our first alternate art with Chilling Rain, which was insane. It just...
a lot of packs.
Dude, out of all the alternate arts that you can pull in that set, it took us 220 just to get one, and we ended up with the Shadow Rider V alternate art, not even the V Max. So we got like a $20 card. So it was like, whatever. But Fusion Strike has treated us better, but I will say this. One booster box was significantly better than the other one. One booster box only had like 2 V Maxes, 1 rainbow, and like 4 Vs in it. And then the other one had the alternate art, a rainbow, 2 full arts, and 2 VMAXs as well. So it was a much better box, which is very odd on the discrepancy here, on hits and stuff like that. So I don't think that's something that should be able to happen.
Yeah, I've heard the booster boxes are like all over the place when it comes to, like, there's no like, kind of standard hit rate like there usually is in a booster box. Like, what would you say? Like usually 6 on the lowest end,
1 secret rare, normally. I've opened enough booster boxes to kind of, this is my expectation of booster boxes: 1 secret or alternate art, right? So one or the other. You normally don't get both. 2 V Maxes and like 6 Vs, right? So 5 or 6 Vs. So right around 10 packs, so just under 30%. So I'd probably say like 28% of your packs are going to have an ultra rare or better. And then you get like 5 or 6 hollow as well, to where about half your box has a hit, right? It's normally about 50-50. But lately, it's been much different. I've been opening much more boxes that don't have a secret rare or alternate art, in that in most cases only 1 full art, right? So like I've had a Evolving Skies booster box that came out with 1 full art, 2 VMAX, and 4 Vs, and that was all that was inside. Wow. And that was that was 7 hits. 7 like actual hits in the whole booster box, and that was like heartbreaking, and it just it was rough. So it was rough.
Yeah, to open that many packs, I mean, it's not cheap to open that many packs either, and to only get that many hits, and if it's I mean, you could still get a whole bunch of hits, but they could be kind of, lower on the end cards there, and it still kind of feels like, ooh, that was a rough one to open.
It is tough. So I mean, definitely, if you're looking for just strictly like big hits, I would recommend doing 3-pack blisters and single sleeved boosters. Those have been where I've gotten the most luck out of. ETBs are cool for storage, sleeves, all that stuff. It's probably not my go-to if you're strictly looking for hits, because at $40 for 8 packs, you're looking at a high-end cost on packs. And booster boxes are fantastic for things like building decks and filling out your sets, right? Like those are awesome for that. But if you're strictly secret hunting or alternate art hunting, I would go with 3-pack blisters or single boosters. But that's about the end of our podcast, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. It was a really cool talk. I know that we reeled you guys in with that thumbnail and that title, but I think we were able to have a very good conversation about the current market and what it looks like for product out on the shelves, costs, and things like that. Just a reminder, here on my channel, we still have the Celebrations Zacian pin collection giveaway going on, so make sure you guys get entry details for that. Every single other video, minus the podcast I have, gives you strict details on how to get that entry. So, ASX, what do you got going on?
Well, right now, I actually do have, now that I think about it, by the time you see this, this will probably already be given away, but I did recently give a Zacian pin collection box away on my channel as well. I already know who won it. You guys don't, but I already know there already is a winner for it.
Was it me?
Already,
me?
but
Did I win?
No. Sorry, no, it wasn't you.
Whatever, bro. Whatever.
I know, right? I come on your box break. I pull 2 Charizards, and then I can't even.
Yeah, what the heck, bro?
Wind of the Zacian box.
Where's my reciprocation, man?
Man, but we are definitely going to be doing more giveaways here, a lot more frequently here on the channel as well. I got some things planned out to do, like some mystery pack giveaways, which I think are going to be really fun.
Nice.
Code card giveaways as well. I kind of stopped giving the codes away in my videos, and I'm going to give a huge fat stack of codes away to one awesome lucky subscriber. So lots of cool things coming onto my channel, ASX TCG. So definitely don't forget to hop over there and hit that sub button as well.
I like that. I like that you're giving all the codes to one person instead of letting the bots like scan them up right away. That's absolutely amazing. So
yeah, I wanted a true fan, someone that really plays the Pokemon trading card game to actually have a chance at pulling some awesome cards. So
cool.
I think that's definitely the way I'm going to be going here.
Awesome, man. I love it. Also, we do have stuff coming down the pipeline. We have a really cool collab going on that's going to be happening around January. Stay tuned for that, because it's also going to incorporate an awesome big giveaway. So make sure you guys stay tuned. We're going to have tons of giveaways going on. More ways to connect with you guys in the community. So thank you so much. But right before we get out of here, ASX, say one last thing.
I wish Brilliant Star could just be here already. Can we just skip through to the release date now?
Dude, Strike has been out for like 2 weeks, dude.
I'm already on the Brilliant Star train.
Have a good night, guys.
All right.